It's Lionel Messi! He scored! The goal the world wanted! It's time for the biggest sports stories.
It's Neymar trying to feed it through. It's a stretch and it's in. And I can't remember the last time I saw something like this. Extraordinary scenes.
The biggest interviews.
It's more difficult. Obviously, it's more difficult.
And all the analysis right here.
If they play poorly, they'll come back, they've got all the excuses. You can't have it both ways.
Every weekday, it's my sport, it's your sport. It's ZiFM Sport. Let's join the team for the biggest show in the world of sport on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station. ZiFM Sport is brought to you by One Money, the mobile money service from Net1. One Money. It's one time.
It is certainly one money, one time. Just gone 5 minutes past 6. It is a wacky Wednesday. Sport brought to you by One Money. The team in the studio, the full team: Alois Punjera, Barry Menandi, Mike Medora, myself, Mark Pozzo, and behind the scenes is Sean Tefaranika. We are just 1 day away from the world's greatest showpiece, the 2018 Football World Cup in Russia. What's on the home front, Baz?
There's lots. There's football news where, despite Zimbabwe's continued successes at the COSAFA Cup, football legend Moses Bambo Chunga, in his playing days known as Razorman, believes ZiFA need to keep prioritizing development ahead of short-term success. In rugby news, Sables coach Peter de Villiers, Div, has admitted he is feeling excited but very nervous as he prepares to lead Zimbabwe in his first test since his appointment in February against Morocco in a Rugby Africa Gold Cup clash at RA Sports Club on Saturday. And in tennis news, Benjamin Locke, Takanyi Garanganga and Mehluli Suanda all advanced to the quarterfinals of the F3 Futures Tournament at RA Sports Club.
In our international sports news roundup, we have golf news for you where Dustin Johnson likes the view from the top, and the long-hitting American says there's no downside to arriving at the 118th US Open as the number one ranked player in the world. In cricket news, Owen Morgan says England will not sledge Australia about their ball tampering humiliation as they meet in a 5-match series which got underway with the first one-day international at the Oval in London. And in rugby news, All Blacks prop Ofa Tuingafasi has received an official warning but escaped further sanction for a tackle which caused a double fracture to the face of Remy Grosso, ending the France Wings tour.
To the beautiful game where the FIFA World Cup kicks off tomorrow, and tonight we conclude our build-up by previewing the last two groups, Group G and Group H. In football news updates, Liverpool's Mohamed Salah has given Egypt a timely boost after he joined the squad's training session this afternoon. The 2026 World Cup will be held in the United States, Canada and Mexico after their joint bid beat Morocco's proposal to host it. And former French national team and Paris Saint-Germain boss Laurent Blanc is linked with the soon-to-be vacant position at Chelsea.
The Warriors, the Chevrons, the Cheetahs, the Mighty Warriors, and the Sables. From the pool to the track to the field, we are Team Zimbabwe. The Home Front. Local sports news and analysis.
All right, let's start with that news of Moses Chunga, who has said, despite Zimbabwe's continues, who has made some comments about the COSAFA Cup triumph that we just succeeded in. Now, despite Zimbabwe's continued successes at the COSAFA Cup, football legend Moses Bambo Chunga believes ZiFA will need to keep prioritizing development ahead of short-term success. The former Zimbabwe international believes the presence of regular warriors such as Kama Belia, Tino Kadewere and Evans Rusike in the team took some gloss off the success. We are starved of success, but honestly, we still have a lot to do in terms of development, football progression. Now, sometimes there is no need for shortcuts. We need to take the long route. But what I know is that people are not patient, and this tends to put coaches under pressure. We cannot be celebrating the COSAFA Cup success with players like Kama Billiat, a former CAF African Player of the Year runner-up. We know what he is capable of, and instead we should be unearthing another Kama at such a tournament.
Oh, if I was sitting in Parliament, I would have been saying, yeah. Well said, Bambo.
Gotta agree with him.
Yeah, you've got to agree with him, and I think he makes the point there. that we are so hungry for success that we will now celebrate anything. We could whip together a 3-nation tournament of Zimbabwe, Lesotho and Swaziland, and we will be celebrating that as a monumental achievement. But whilst we celebrate the achievement, of course, of being the king nation in our region, I think the pinnacle still remains AFCON qualification, World Cup qualification. That's what a nation of the status of Zimbabwe should be gunning for. COSAFA, yes, is great, but just take a look at the approach that South Africa has. They're sending in their third string side. They're not sending in any of their regulars to this tournament because they are using this tournament just to take a look at some of the players that are coming in, some of the fringe Bafana side.
Bunja, isn't it also an admission of guilt on the part of our administrators on the basis that they say that, we wanted to use COSAFA, the COSAFA Cup as a tune-up for our team that's going to be playing in the AFCON qualifiers? Well, we've got international windows and friendlies at which you can tune up your team to make sure that it's ready for any qualifiers that come up. So isn't this also an admission of guilt by the administrators that they've failed to put together credible friendly matches for our full-strength team?
First of all, it wasn't the administrators that decided to take the top players.
Sure.
It was the coach.
Yeah.
Why did the coach do that? Why did the coach do that? The coach realized that we have administrators that are really bad,
that want success,
that are not going to have that to those friendly matches on the winter period. That's why the coach came up with this particular program that I'm going to take the team,
a full strength team.
My team. You see, if everything was normal in Zimbabwe, I would agree with Moses Chunga straight away. Well done, well said. But the problem is, he is not looking at the situation clearly. That why did Mofu do what he did? Because there's nothing. Okay, now we're going into an international against Congo. We are going to be in this studio. You tell me in the FIFA window if we are going to play a friendly match.
Can I ask something,
tell you if we are going to play a friendly match before the Congo match.
I hear you, but I want to ask you something though. What did we learn from this tournament?
No, it wasn't learning.
No.
He said, yes.
I'm asking you, what did we learn? I'm not asking about Mofu. I'm just asking you
what
now.
I'm saying.
Different conversation. What have we learned about our team? Okay, what did you learn?
I learned that our team isn't good enough to face the likes of Congo. Because we had most of our full internationals in that team,
which is actually good,
and fine, but battled against teams that the same Congo team put up against those teams would put them to the sword. So you got to think to yourself, we got a lot of work to do before the DRC.
Yes, that is where we are.
That's what I learned.
You're right. This is actually where we are. This is our top team minus Nakamba and Knowledge. But we struggled against this. This is where we are.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he was trying to fine-tune the team because we are not going to get. We didn't. For me, I think Mof actually expressed that we don't care about winning this thing. We're not going to be celebrating about winning this thing. I'm going to do things right. This team because we are not going to have any friendly match here. And I agree with him. We are not going. I can put my money.
I want to differ though.
Yes,
the way I saw Mofu celebrating, you can say all you want. Mofu said he wasn't going to celebrate.
But I can put
the way he was celebrating. And I'll tell you another thing as well. I'll offer a different theory. I believe that Mofu selected the squad that he did because he wanted to keep his job. Simple. He knew that had he carried a substandard team to COSAFA and lost and not won the tournament, I think there would have been increased scrutiny around whether Mofu is the right man to continue as the Warriors gaffer for the rest of the AFCON qualifiers, because that's what we are eyeing.
Yeah. But he took a second string team last year and won it.
Yes, that's last year. He wasn't the substantive coach. He was the substantive coach. This time, he's been the man who's been put in charge. ZiFM has put a lot of trust in him. You wanted to alleviate a lot of pressure heading into those AFCON qualifiers. So take a team. Because imagine now what the talk would have been, Alois. Had Mofu taken, let's say, a team featuring the likes of Peter Muduwa, etc.
And then what else is going to help Zimbabwe?
And then be knocked out in the quarterfinals. Yeah. No, I'm saying added to that, Mofu also was clever. Yeah. He also realized, you know what, I can do myself a favor. Yeah. If I win this tournament, there will be no conversation around my suitability heading into the AFCON qualifiers.
You see, Mike, my problem is, for the last 12 months, we played 7 international friendly matches. 7. And those players were being assessed. Why then we are now going into a big international? We definitely know we are not. Why do you want us to keep on assessing players until the day of the real match? We are still assessing. When are we going to fine tune?
When are we going to fine-tune?
Yes, when?
What did we fine-tune, though, at Kosafa?
Barry has said it. We have realized good. We are not good enough.
So we didn't
need
fine-tune
things that we need. We now we realize good. This is our.
When are we going to fine-tune then?
A training.
When?
A training.
A
now
training.
He knows now. Could you know? Divine Lunga has got a problem with this internationally. Maybe we are going to face such and such a player. He has got a core of the team that is going to be playing. This is, I think, this team that played in Kosafa is 90% of the team that is going to play in Congo. Now the coach has got a very good picture of what. Imagine if we had taken Muduas and them. What are we gonna do?
Okay, let's open the conversation to you, the listener, on WhatsApp 0731-168-045. Your thoughts on Moses Bambo's sentiments. Should we be celebrating Kosafa, or should we be actually applauding Mofu for being very practical and realizing that there was not a lot of game time that his Warriors were going to be afforded in the lead up to the match versus Congo? That number again, 0731-168-045. This is ZiFM Sport. Coming up, your local sports news roundup.
ZiFM Sport, proudly delivered by One Money. It's one time.
We start on our local sports news roundup with rugby, where Sables coach Peter de Villiers has admitted he is feeling excited but very nervous as he prepares to lead Zimbabwe in his first test since his appointment in February against Morocco in a Rugby Africa Cup Gold Cup clash at Harare Sports Club on Saturday. De Villiers said the national cricket team's failure to qualify for next year's World Cup in England and Wales has left his charges facing the extra weight of expectation as they aim to qualify for the first World Cup in 27 years by booking a ticket to next year's global showpiece in Japan. The Sables need to finish top of the group, which includes the Moroccans, Namibia, Tunisia, Kenya and Uganda, to automatically qualify for the World Cup. To tennis, Benjamin Locke, Takaniga Garaganga and Maluli Sibanda all advanced to the quarterfinals of the F3 Futures Tournament at Harare Sports Club with impressive straight sets wins. Locke dispatched American Jeremy Sonkin 6-1, 6-1. Garaganga took out Namibian Tuki Jacobs 6-2, 6-4, and Maluli Sibanda defeated Indian Nikki Kayalinda 6-1, 6-4. To cricket, the Zimbabwe Chairman's 11 and Zimbabwe Select 11 sides are playing in a triangular T20 series involving Kenya at Old Hararian Sports Club. In today's results, Zimbabwe Select beat Kenya by 41 runs in the morning. In the afternoon, the Chairman's 11 chased down 206 to beat Kenya by 6 wickets.
International Sports News Roundup, where the world comes out to play.
Our Sables are going out to do battle this weekend against Morocco, and we're backing them all the way. We're backing our boys right here in the studio. And so tomorrow, Thursday is classically the time when we have a sports feature where we feature one particular story. And this time, we're focusing on rugby. That's what we're going to be talking about on tomorrow's show. And there is a sweetener. We're giving away 10 tickets to the match on Saturday. Zimbabwe Sables versus Morocco. 10 tickets. So tune in tomorrow and you could be a winner and be out there to support and back our boys.
From the front of the grid to the back of the net, it's ZiFM Sport.
The US Open gets underway this week, and Dustin Johnson likes the view from the top. And the long-hitting American says there's no downside to arriving at the 118th US Open as the number 1 ranked player in the world. If anything, it takes pressure off me just because I played well last week, Johnson said at Shinnecock Hills, where the year's second major tees off tomorrow. Johnson, who won the 2016 US Open at Oakmont in a long-awaited major breakthrough, had reached number 1 in February of 2017 and stayed there for 64 weeks before he was supplanted by Justin Thomas. And Mark, taking a look at DJ, he comes in bang on form. Will he be one of the favourites?
You got to say he's got to be one of the favourites to win this tournament. I mean, looking at we'll get to the odds a little bit later on, but you got to say he is the favourite. I think it's going to be a tough tournament. There's quite a few players that you've got to throw into the mix here, but on current form showing, you got to make him the favourite.
DJ definitely will be one of the favourites, and he is in a marquee group, isn't he? I mean, he's going to be playing alongside Justin Thomas and 14-time major champion Tiger Woods, and that is a blockbuster group. That It's box office.
It's box office, and I think it's going to work in favor of, in particular, in that group, DJ and Tiger Woods, because the galleries that are going to follow that group are going to be massive. And so I think those are sort of players who get a lift from getting the big galleries around them. So I think that's going to give them a lift. I think we're going to see some pretty good rounds in the first two days.
Yeah, I do. You got to look at this course layout and exceptionally narrow fairways.
Yeah,
very, very narrow fairways. So it means you got to be accurate off the tee.
And it's a links course, isn't it?
It is a links course, and that's where DJ comes into play, because he is accurate. That's where I worry about someone like Rory McIlroy, because Rory he has been spraying it a little bit and get himself into a bit of trouble. But for me, this is horses for courses, and DJ, I think, has got everything going for him.
Does it mean we'll see a lot more of the irons off the tee from Tiger Woods?
Very much so. Very much so. I don't think Tiger. Listen, we've seen the tournaments that he's played. His driver's working, and so it's no slight on his driver play. But I think he's going to play the sensible golf and
percentage golf.
Percentage golf. He's going to use his irons. He's going to keep the driving off the tee box low, so that he doesn't spray like Pos was talking about, and is able to be as accurate as he can.
Okay, let's hear from Phil Mickelson, who has pleaded with US Open officials to be careful with the course setup at Shinnecock Hills and avoid a repeat of Carnival Golf, which was experienced in 2004. Let's hear from Lefty.
Saturday in 2004, the barometer for watering the 7th green was, did anybody make double or triple? So if nobody double or triple bogeyed in the group in front of you, the green did not get water. If your group made a double or triple, the green got water for the group behind you. We put so much into these tournaments and the preparation and the dreams and the hopes, and to have it left to something like that is disappointing. It's the best setup, in my opinion, that we've seen, and the reason I say that is all areas of your game are being tested. I feel like your short game is going to be challenged, putting will be challenged, as well as ball striking, irons, driver. I feel as though the luck of a course has been taken out as much as possible to where skill is the primary factor. I think we're going to have a great leaderboard and a great tournament.
Fantastic assessment there by Phil Mickelson, Lefty, meaning that this is the equivalent of a test match. Let's go into the world rankings before the US Open, and this is how they stand. Justin Thomas is out in front at number 1. Number 2 is DJ Dustin Johnson. Justin Johnston is number 1, and then Justin Thomas is number 2 on the world rankings at the moment. Justin Rose is in 3rd, John Rahm in 4th. In 5th is Jordan Spieth. Rory McIlroy is 6th. 7th, Ricky Fowler. 8th is Jason Day of Australia. Brooks Koepka of the US is in 9th, and Hideki Matsuyama of Japan is in 10th. If you're looking for Tiger Woods, you're going to have to scroll down quite a bit. He's in number 80, albeit that's an improvement.
Looking at the odds for the tournament, Dustin Johnson heads the field at 8-1. You can get 14-1 about Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, Ricky Fowler, Justin Rose, all at 14-1. Jason Day at 16-1. Jordan Spieth at 18-1. Tiger Woods at 20-1. Brooks Koepka, the current defending champion, 25-1. And Phil Mickelson, 25-1. And you can get 30-1 and better the rest of the field in this year's US Open.
We are your station of choice, the People's Station, ZiFM Stereo.
Around the world in 60 seconds. International sports news.
A takeoff is in England, where Owen Morgan says England will not sledge Australia about their ball tampering humiliation as they meet in a 5-match series which got underway with the first one-day international of the Oval in the wake of the ball tampering scandal. A very different-looking Australia side led by Tim Payne will contest 5 ODIs and 1 T20 international over a frantic fortnight as preparations for the 2019 ICC 50-over Cricket World Cup continue. In South Africa, Johnny May has revealed that England have been soul-searching over the recurring indiscipline that has sent results into freefall. South Africa won the opening installment of the 3-test series in a 42-39 victory at Ellis Park that exposed all too familiar flaws in the performance of Eddie Jones' men that first surfaced during a troubled Six Nations. A penalty count of 17 played into the Springboks' hands, and while error-prone work at the breakdown also led to their collapse. Across to New Zealand, All Blacks prop Ofa Tuingafasi has received an official warning but escaped further sanction for a tackle which caused a double fracture to the face of Remy Grosso, ending the France Wings tour. World Rugby, the sport's governing body, say the tackle was just short of the level of a red card, which probably would have seen Tuingafasi suspended for the rest of the series. Which touchdown in the US, where we end on a wacky note. Former world heavyweight champion Mike Tyson and promoter Don King were thick as thieves at one point in time, with King serving as the best promoter for the champ. Over the years, the relationship has fizzled out, with Tyson even suing King for $100 million, claiming that King was stiffing him out of cash. The beef between the two is still alive and well. During the Boxing Hall of Fame induction over the weekend in New York, King approached Tyson to give him a playful tap on the shoulder, and Tyson responded by tossing a bit of water in a glass on King. Bad blood there, but enough energy in the studio.
ZiFM Sport, proudly delivered by One Money. It's one time. The big leagues, the big teams, the big players. The beautiful game on ZiFM Sport.
We start off the beautiful game where Liverpool's Mo Salah has given Egypt a timely boost after he joined the squad's training session this afternoon. Salah had been a doubt after suffering a shoulder injury in Liverpool's 3-1 loss to Real Madrid in the Champions League final on May the 26th. However, the 25-year-old was spotted taking part in the session, going through a range of warm-up exercises with his teammates. The 2026 World Cup, meanwhile, will be held in the United States, Canada and Mexico after their joint bid beat Morocco's proposal to host it. The United 2026 bid was selected by FIFA member nations, winning 134 votes compared to 65 for Morocco. The 2026 tournament will be the biggest World Cup ever held, with 48 teams playing 80 matches over 34 days.
Now, former French national team and Paris Saint-Germain boss Laurent Blanc is linked with the soon-to-be vacant position at Chelsea. In an interview with Le Monde, Blanc discussed his hunger for a new managerial challenge that may come with the Blues in the Premier League. Now, the World Cup winner is one of two candidates in line for the Stamford Bridge gig, with the negotiations for Maurizio Sarri seemingly hitting a roadblock. There are no such issues with Blanc, however, as he has been out of a job since he left PSG in 2016. Let's wrap it up on a wacky note where 20 years after claiming France's first and only World Cup triumph, the victorious 1998 squad were reunited once again last night. And just like that famous night in Paris, they were on the winning side once more, beating an all-star 98-11. 3-2. Zinedine Zidane had to settle for just the one goal this time after netting twice against Brazil in the final at the Stade de France. Thierry Henry and Vincent Candaya were also on target for the hosts, with Spanish pair Fernando Morientes and Gaishka Mendieta netting for the visitors. Most of the victorious French squad were in attendance, though the current boss Didier Deschamps was excused as he leads the charge for glory at the World Cup. We're about to get into our World Cup report, but today, given that the tournament kicks off tomorrow, we want to know from you, who do you think is going to win the tournament outright this time? I say Brazil, but we want to know from you why you say that team is going to win. Let us know. 0731 168045 is the number to use. Who's going to win it and why?
Zimbabwe's finest radio. ZiFM Stereo.
Jogo Bonito, Tiki Taka, Catanaccio, Total Football. It's a football celebration where only the best are invited. Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Salah, Mane. The stars come out to play on your Russia 2018 World Cup update on ZiFM Sport.
Your World Cup build-up is continuing on ZiFM Sport. We've run through Group A, B, C, D, E, and F. And tonight is the turn of Group G and Group H as we wrap up our build-up in time for kickoff, which is tomorrow evening at 5 o'clock. The first match will see the host Russia taking on rank outsiders Saudi Arabia. Well, let's kick off with Group G. But let me also remind you that you can also send in your predictions on Twitter and Facebook. The handle to use is at ZiFM Sport. Now, Group G, this group is one of the most balanced groups in the group stages. The engagements between Belgium, England, Tunisia, and newcomer Panama are certain to maintain a typically high standard befitting the occasion, and they should not be short of all the thrills and frills, though the key match should be the one between the two European sides, Belgium and England. But you've got to say that Belgium looking like they are the favourites, Alois, in this group, just based on their playing personnel and the quality that they have in their team.
Yeah, obviously, Mike, when you look at player by player, you look at the big names in their squad, you actually want to say that they can actually go all the way probably to the semi-finals. They've got good players, De Bruyne, Courtois, Hazard, company. They have the ammunition. So I think when you look at this group, I think they are favorites to actually go through. And England might scrape through, but I think that Belgium, they look good for the money.
They look good for the money. Belgium qualified, finishing atop UEFA Group H ahead of Greece, Bosnia and Herzegovina, as well as Estonia. They're currently ranked number 3 in the world. Their best finish, however, has been a 4th place that was way back in Mexico 1986. We've talked, Barry, about the star-laden squad that they have. The players mentioned by Alois, you throw in there the likes of Alex Witsel as well, the likes of Romelu Lukaku, Batshuayi in attack. Those are all very, very good players, but they are not world class when it comes to the dugout, is it?
Yeah, no,
the man who's standing on the touchline, Roberto Martinez.
Yeah, you guys have got to think about this. You've got a group with 2 of them in it.
He's not the best coach.
Southgate and Martinez.
He's not the best coach. Pause. You can't make excuses. What has he done?
So what happens if he does it? Hang on.
Yeah.
What happens if he takes Belgium all the way?
No.
What are you going to do?
He could do that. But let's discuss him. Let's discuss how good he is. Is he a good enough manager?
Yeah.
Could they not have got better as Belgium?
He's an Everton coach.
All we can look at,
all
we can look at is his pedigree. And for me, his pedigree isn't at the same level as the players. If you talk about a squad that's got the names that we've run through and the boys have talked about in the studio here, and then you talk about a coach who could manage those, you're thinking of a coach the ilk of Pep Guardiola, who could get the best out of these players, who could get them to the next level. You've got Bobby Martinez there. He's a coach who can play exciting football, a coach who can play exciting, get into the box, get goals, get a team so far. And that's why I think Bunj said a semi-final berth, probably. But final...
But hang on.
No.
You're not answering my question. What happens if they go all the way? Then where do you rate him?
Because it's a good team.
He'll have done well. It's a good team.
No, it's a good team.
Done well.
Led by who?
It's a good team.
He'd have done well with a good team. And that's the thing.
Why are we also failing to recognize, and pause, here's the thing. You can't argue that the entire success of a team is predicated on the coach. No matter how good you are as a coach, if we give you a rubbish team, you're not going to do much with it.
So he's never ever going to be rated because
no,
you don't think he's good enough.
He's going to have to prove himself.
Yes,
he has to prove himself. So if he wins it,
he's going to prove himself.
Yes, but you're talking in the future.
It's more
Let's
points.
talk about now.
It's just a few points.
Yeah. He's because if you've got the pantheon of great coaches who are coaching right now, you've got that level. He's probably the second tier of coaches who are trying to knock on the door and getting his team to the World Cup.
Then he's knocking on the door.
I actually don't even think he's a third tier coach, guys, because I will still ask the question, because for me, if you talk about top tier coaches, you're talking about Pep Guardiola.
Will the Pharaohs rule in Russia?
You're talking about Pep Guardiola. You're talking about your Jurgen Klopps, your Jose Mourinho's. You're talking about Zinedine Zidane, Ancelotti. Those are your top draw.
Okay.
Then in the second draw, then you're beginning to take a look at coaches with your Unai Emery's.
Yes.
Coaches who have won something.
Okay, yeah.
What has Bobby Martinez done as a coach?
Give him a chance first. He's got to get there first.
He's been a manager of a club before. What has he done?
Yeah, but look at the clubs that he was managing.
Yes.
Everton were never going to win the Premiership. They were never going to win the Champions League.
Manchester City is hardly ever going to come knocking on Bobby Martinez's door and say, hey, we want you to be manager.
And also, you look at it in the time that, in the decade that he was in England, you had the likes of a Leicester City arise from nowhere and take the
that's what I wanted to say. That if you look at Ranieri, you can actually rate Ranieri much higher. Than Martinez.
Anyway, here's the point. I think maybe Paz is missing it somewhat. The point is, Belgium. No. Yeah, you are Paz. The point is, we believe that Belgium will do well at the tournament.
We do.
But we're actually saying that had they had a coach with a higher pedigree, they could actually go very far.
So my next question then: so what happens if Belgium don't do well? You're going to say it was the coach?
No.
Poor coach.
Poor coach.
Yeah, probably.
Poor coach, but we'll assess their performance because we'll then have the benefit.
Yeah, we have to look at how they play.
Hindsight.
If the coach has managed to use these players that he has got.
At this stage, all we've got
but
is
a simple question to pose is, do you think Bobby Martinez is one of the best coaches at the World Cup?
I didn't say he's one of the best coaches
What
in
is
the
he?
World Cup.
Okay, where do you rate him?
Where do I rate him?
Yes,
it's
as
not,
a coach.
It's not where I rate him. It's where obviously Belgium rate him. They feel that he was the right
We're
man
in the studio,
to
Mark.
coach
Where do
Belgium.
you rate him?
Then where do you rate him as a coach?
As a pundit, where do you rate him?
Obviously, Belgium rate him because they've hired him.
Yes, exactly.
How about you?
Liverpool rated Brendan
So
Rodgers
you
when he
want
was
to
manager.
give me a rating out of 10?
Yeah,
I'll give him a 7.
Okay. That means his top draw. Well, he'll have to prove himself. Well, let's hear from some of the players that are under his care. And, of course, those are Belgium internationals Thibaut Courtois as well as Kevin De Bruyne, who hope their World Cup match against England will be to decide who wins the group.
It's been fantastic. Really warm welcome. The facilities are here and at the hotel are fantastic. The pitch is great, and we got a nice welcome today from the fans that were here, and at the hotel everything is perfect. So we can't complain about the facilities at all.
Okay, debate is raging behind the scenes here in the studio, but you've got to say, obviously, I think these two teams are going to be the favourites, Mark, for this group, and that match should decide which team actually ends up first in that group, because I was taking a look at the permutations. If Brazil finish first in their group, and then Argentina finish first in their group, those two teams will not be able to meet until the final.
Yeah.
If Germany finishes first in their group and Brazil finishes first, they cannot meet anywhere else but in the final. However, if England finish second, they are immediately thrown on the side of Germany, Spain, Argentina, which is actually the tougher side.
Yeah.
So the trick in this group is to finish first, and the only major nation, I think, apart from Brazil, that you're going to face on that side of the draw is Portugal. So, Paz, you must say that that's an incentive to finish first.
Yes, absolutely, and both these sides are going to be vowing to finish first in this group.
Of course,
And I worry that when it gets to this game between these two sides, you know what? It's you've got to make sure you win your other two games to make sure you get maximum points. You know what? You've also got to score good goals against the likes of Panama, so your goal difference is looking good.
Then you can actually play for a draw.
Then you can play for a draw and say, well, okay, England can win this group on goal difference.
Yeah, and the great thing is that these two teams meet as the last game.
Yeah, that's
so it's everything to play for. So you're going to know exactly your goal difference and everything. It's all going to be set for you.
I was also going to ask, familiarity. Is that going to help these two teams? Because you take a look at the lineups of Belgium and England. It's almost like it's an EPL derby.
It's a Premier League game, man.
It's actually like a Premier League game.
That familiarity is likely to serve up one of the games of the tournament when these two play. And so, listen, don't miss this game for love or for money. Watch this game. It's going to be one of the great ones. And as we get deeper into the tournament, obviously see greater games, but this one is going to be a good one. Familiar players, good sides, good coaches.
and bigger names for Belgium.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at the other two sides. Of course, they are Panama and Tunisia. And maybe let's just touch on Tunisia flying the flag for Africa. They qualified atop CAF Group A ahead of the DR Congo, Libya, as well as Guinea. So this was a tough group that they came out of. They're currently ranked number 21 in the world. Their best finish has been the group stages, 1978, 1998, 2002, 2006. So they are familiar with the World Cup. They just haven't got past the group stages. And once again, you'll have to say that if you take a look at the fact that their star player is Wahbi Khazri, who will remember from that very dour season that Sunderland had a couple of years ago, then you say that perhaps getting out of the group for Tunisia again might be a tough ask.
I'm sorry, I'm African, but patriotism here is not going to work.
It's not going to work.
The draw has been unkind to Tunisia.
It's not going to work. They don't look strong, and they are in a group that has got two teams that are set to qualify. I don't see them doing. They might beat Panama, and that's the 3 points that they will get.
Okay, well, they get into action versus England, and that game is going to be on a Monday, and that will also see Belgium begin their campaign with a match versus Panama.
Will the Pharaohs rule in Russia? Will the Carthage Eagles swoop to victory? Will the Lions of Teranga roar? Will the Super Eagles soar? Or will the Atlas Lions snap their way to victory? Africa, do you believe.
Predictions are coming in, especially on Twitter. Tinotenda Rio, good evening to you. You say you are gunning for Argentina. Mwanawa Bigi says, I'd say Egypt, and you'll know what I mean, Salah. I don't think Egypt can win the World Cup, to be honest.
Patriotism taken too far.
This one's from Norbert. He's writing out in Goromonzi. He says Brazil will take it this time. Germany runners up, Argentina third, and Spain will come fourth in this World Cup. This one says Portugal will win the World Cup, and you only have to reminisce
same bloke from last night
at the Euro performance to realize that they have it in them to grind out victories. Besides, they aren't number 4 in the world for nothing.
LT Mub says one of Brazil, France and Germany were, at least on paper, England won't get past the quarters at most. Expect Egypt and Morocco to cause upsets. Spain are also dark horses for now. Would say Brazil are favourites. Belgium will flatter to deceive. Well, let's move on to Group H, gents. This group is perhaps the most open group in the entire competition, with all 4 sides genuine contenders to get through. Colombia won the hearts of neutrals in 2014, but Robert Lewandowski, Sadio Mane and Shinji Kagawa will all be looking to inspire Poland, Senegal and Japan respectively. I mean, you take a look at this group. It's open season. And I think, Mark, it's about how you start in this group. If you can start with a victory, you could be well on your way.
Yes, without doubt. And I think you've summed it up pretty well. That if you start your game with a victory in this group, you set yourself on target to either finish first or second.
Yeah.
So this is, as you say, this is certainly the most open group. But when you got somebody like Robert Lewandowski playing for Poland, you got to throw them into the mix that they're probably the favourites to win this group.
Yeah, probably. But you take a look at Senegal. They surprised the world in 2002. They could have an opportunity to do the same. Now they have the likes of Sadio Mane as well, the likes of Koulibaly in their team, Cheka Kouyaté. These are decent players who are experienced.
I actually believe that Senegal, of all the African teams, I actually believe that they'll go the furthest, meaning that they will qualify from this group. And this is a group that a team with 4 points can actually be number 1 in this group. You know, you win 1, you draw 1, you can actually be number 1. And I see Senegal just getting in there, and a bonus is if they are number 1, they actually stand a chance to actually then progress to the quarterfinals. I think they will get to the quarterfinals.
Okay, taking a look at the schedule, Colombia takes on Japan on Tuesday in their first match, and then Poland will take on Senegal. That match again will be played on Tuesday. Gentlemen, before of course we things come to a head, I want to hear your tournament predictions, and what I want from you is I want you to pick one. First of all, give me 3 teams. Your European team, your South American team, and your African team. Starting with Pos. European team that you're backing to do the best.
Germany.
Germany?
Yep.
Okay. South American team?
South American team, I will go Mexico.
Mexico, okay. And African?
You got to say Senegal.
Senegal. Alois?
Brazil and South America.
I don't know why I asked.
Yeah, you have to. You know, in England, in Europe, I think Germany will do the business. They'll go all the way. I'm looking at a situation whereby we're repeating a 2014 final, Germany Brazil. Then Senegal, I think they'll go far for Africa.
Okay.
Okay. My predictions are exactly like Bunj.
Okay.
Brazil, South America, Senegal for Africa, and in Europe, my European team is Germany. So there you go.
There you go. Okay. I am going
Argentina
with
and South America.
Yeah, Argentina and South America. I'm going to go. Surprisingly, I'll go with Spain, despite the turmoil in the Spanish camp.
Yeah.
I'm going with Spain. They have enough quality to ride that wave. And then I'm going to go with Senegal as well. I think so. We are all united with Senegal here. That's the team we'll be back. You're right. Tournament outright. Who wins the FIFA World Cup 2018? Now, listeners, take out your notebooks, pencil and pen, or
follow me.
And you need to select right now.
Who do you want?
Somebody. Alois, who are you backing?
Brazil. Neymar is going to take the golden boot.
Okay. Mark?
Germany.
Germany. Okay. Alois? No, Barry?
Yeah.
You're torn between Brazil and Germany.
I know. I'm torn between Brazil and Argentina. I think Argentina is going to run deep, but I'm going to go with my heart and go Brazil.
And we know what you go.
Right, I am going with Argentina.
Yeah. I actually think that they're going to finish top of their groups.
No
What's
pressure.
Those two.
What's up with you?
No
Tell us.
expectations. No pressure.
He's
No
with me, yeah?
expectations.
He's gonna wait for them.
He's with me, Germany.
Okay,
That's your final.
Yeah.
Brazil, Argentina for me.
Brazil, Argentina.
That's gonna
Wow,
be the
a
final.
classical.
That's going to be a
As
classical.
a final.
Yes. It's going to be a classical.
FIFA will be smiling all the way to
They
the
will,
bank.
they will love it.
They will be.
They
Sean,
will
Sean,
love
who are
it.
you backing for the tournament?
Germany. Yes.
Arsenal.
What did you say? Germany.
Diamantschap. Yeah, he's a Germany fan. And guys, as we wrap up, your thoughts on this whole Spanish fiasco? Coach has been fired after, of course, announcing that he will be the new coach of Real Madrid without the federation even knowing. Yeah. They didn't even know that he had entered into negotiations with Real Madrid.
Yeah, the announcement was bad. I think it was in bad taste. You know, they should have they should have just done their contractual agreements under the carpet, keep quiet. Maybe towards the end of the World Cup, announce it. Not like now. No, that was really wrong. And I applaud the Spanish Federation for doing what they did, because he had just signed a 2-year contract. And
a 5-year contract.
A 5-year contract. Yeah. And now to do that, I think maybe if his contract was expiring after the World Cup, it was going to be much easier for them to announce
like
that.
The Conte situation.
Yes. But with this kind of situation, I think that was out of order.
Barry, if they fail to do well, will people look back and say this was the moment they lost it?
This was the moment, but I don't think that the federation will be judged harshly. I think they
did the right thing.
They did the right thing. And it takes a brave man to make that sort of a decision at this time. 48 hours from the start of the World Cup. In fact, 24 hours from the start of the World Cup, and you fire your coach. It takes a brave man to do that. So I think they're going to get a groundswell of support.
And we can tell you that former and legendary Real Madrid captain and defender Fernando Hierro, he has now taken over a caretaker coach for Spain at the FIFA World Cup. He also turned out for Bolton Wanderers, if you remember, under Sam Allardyce.
I enjoyed him, Fernando Hierro.
His task will be simple. Unify the Spanish squad and get the best out of them in the first 2 matches.
Yeah, I like two Fernando Hierro
Martinez
and Fernando Redondo. All right,
he's right up there with Bobby, isn't he?
All right, we have to go. The news is coming up next, so stay with Z. May God richly bless you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Manande, out.
Be sure to catch ZiFM Sport every weekday on ZiFM Stereo. My station, your station. ZiFM Sport was brought to you by One Money, the mobile money service from Net1. One Money. It's one time.